Five,
4, 3,
2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
it's time for
The Realist Podcast.
Oh yeah!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realist Podcast, and welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm joined by Andrew and this guy that just shows up every now and then, Kyle.
Damn right, dude.
Yeah. Doesn't even watch wrestling anime. You just gave up
What do you
on
mean? I watch it like once every 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
Once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, John Cena's champ, right?
No, obviously it's Randy Orton. What are you talking about?
I'm 2 weeks ahead. Well, got ourselves a good bit of news today. A lot of news when it comes to WWE. I mean, we can start off right away and just make it real nice and super with a lot of drama, or we can take it easy. Kyle, should we start with the drama?
Dude, let's start off hot, man. I want to do with the hot drama.
All right, well then, let's talk about Tom Phillips. Yes, the NXT commentator and the SmackDown host is in a bit of, I wouldn't say trouble, but he's got himself in a little bit of a fiasco. Him and a woman, if I'm not I'm gonna be checking her name.
Missy the tattooed girl.
Yeah, Missy the tattooed girl.
Instagram profile.
That's her Instagram. If her parents actually named her that, shame on them.
Yeah.
This girl came out and she said, and I quote, this is what she came out. We do not know a lot about her. Instagram is private, so this is what she wrote. She said, and I quote, thanks to WrestlingNews.com. This is why I don't trust people. Without my friends, I would have never known that he was a high-profile WWE commentator. Now we're gonna stop right there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's stop there real quick. Blake, why are we gonna stop there, Blake? Why? As Andrew dies. Okay.
He's dying.
It's very funny apparently. Oh my god.
I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. First off, she's got it all wrong. He's not a high-profile WWE commentator. Mediocre.
At best.
Okay.
Let's continue. Who was talking to me and wanted to get together. He's engaged. I had zero idea, and I couldn't be more sorry to the girl involved. You deserve better than this. Apparently, nobody's faithful anymore. Well, let's read the text messages that him and they've both been sharing together. So on a plane, he sends her a selfie. She says, ha ha ha, with a winky face. He says, Tom Phillips says this. I'm in my seat with a massive erection, and a 4-hour flight ahead. I'm gonna face fuck the shit out of you. Now, what? What is? What's so funny? What's so funny?
He's still going from before.
I know he's out of control right now. So
High profile. Oh, I'm sorry, but no. That's really, really messed up. That's really weird. I'm sorry.
Now, when it comes to sexting, this stuff is kind of normal. This is normal when it comes to sexting, but when you read it, it's like, oh my god. Now, the question is will he be in trouble with WWE? That's where the big
Most
question
likely.
is.
Most likely.
I don't think that he will. And here's my reasoning. This has nothing to do with WWE. This isn't like with Seth Rollins, his nudes got leaked. That's his fault. But, with everything, it's not like he assaulted his fiancée. It's not like he's done anything, against the law. He just did something that, as us citizens and us people that, look at relationships is very looked down upon. In reality, cheating on your partner or having an affair, it's not against the law. It's looked down upon.
Yeah.
So, why should he be in trouble with WWE? Now, before we continue, I am not someone that thinks that he's not in the wrong here. I think he screwed up big time. The guy deserves to get, he deserves to have the shit beat out of him because of him doing this. And I hope his wife or his fiance gets the better deal out of this, out of the little breakup, because what he's doing is messed up. But what has he done to make himself get in trouble with WWE?
Well, the problem with it is that because of it's not obviously as severe as we've seen in the past, but it's going to make him look bad, and it's going to in turn make WWE look bad, and they're not going to be okay with that because they care, obviously about their image looking as perfect as possible, and even something as small as this is going to demean that, and they're not going to be happy about it. So will he get... I don't think he'll get fired for it, but I could see him even getting suspended just because him being on, the shows, the crowd might, end up trying to lash out on him, and then again, it's going to make WWE look like shit.
Well, I mean, if anything, they're going to, make his life difficult. I mean, in terms of they're just not going to give him the role that he was probably working up to get. I mean, the WWE has a very long history of making subtle hints that, they kind of, in-house shame you, in a sense. If that because, I mean, you look at, the stuff that they did with other superstars, who've gotten themselves into hot water. One of the big, examples of that is Paige and some of the stuff that she does. She might lash out and say something, and they'll give it right back to her. And then next thing you know,
Paige is also saying stuff about WWE. She's out there saying that, she's clear to wrestle. WWE's dumb that, she's in the situation that she's in. She's lashing out against WWE. Tom Phillips just had an affair.
Well, let's be honest. Did he have an affair? No. Was he trying to have an affair?
No, I don't care.
I mean, it's cheating.
Trying, that's an affair in my book.
I mean, I'm not defending it or anything, but I'm saying, there's a difference between trying to cheat and get caught attempting to cheat. I think, I guess it's better than not cheating, or not completing it.
I think it's cheating, especially if you put a ring on somebody's finger. There's no if and buts about that.
No question.
Up. But
I even forgot the fact that he was married.
He's they're not married. It's his fiance.
Oh well, still
they're engaged.
They're as good as a married. In terms
cheating
of,
is cheating. Still.
Yeah. I don't know. It's messed up to do so, but part of me is it's he didn't do anything business wise, to put his his company in jeopardy.
Well, I mean, in terms of business wise, sure. You could kind of construe it as that way because he used really, I don't know, I in terms of the language that he used and the way that he did it. I mean, he's a normal person. Of course, people say stupid things. It's human.
Okay.
Everybody
First
does
off,
stupid stuff.
A text message should be confidential. That's confidential. 100% it's confidential.
Well, you share it with somebody and they decide to post it.
You're absolutely right. But you and I, we can have an image and we could be something where we're PG. We're not allowed to say anything above hell or damn. And you and I could go off and I could say fuck that person or something like that. And I mean, people. What I'm trying to get at is, the guy is I want to say he's in his 30s. I
think he's younger than that. I think he's 27.
I don't know. But
I think I actually read he was 27.
But if they're going to get him because he said, it's what I hate is he's gonna get lashed out for saying I'm gonna fuck your face or something, along those lines. That's what I hate, is because he's gonna get in trouble for that, and of course there's gonna be people. Oh my god, I cannot believe he said that. When in reality,
I honestly,
reading it, it's like, oh my god, it makes you feel dirty. But just as well as I do, if you're not around your girlfriend and you're in that mood, you're going to say that type of stuff.
I mean, not out loud. Hopefully.
Not out loud, but you're going to say it through text.
I mean, there's a difference between thinking something stupid and actually saying something stupid. And texting it is kind of, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like when you text something like that, I don't know. It makes him sound like a weirdo.
Yes, 100%. Like I've already said, it makes you feel dirty when you think about it. But, and I know I could get lashed out for this. I really could. But when people are in the mood, that's what is said. Especially if you can't do anything about it, if you can't go and see them. That's what's said. You say it over text, or you say it over the phone. Obviously,
yeah, but there's
privately,
a lot of factors into it. I mean, whether it's private or not, I mean, it's one thing if you're saying that to your significant other, and it's jokingly, and it's kind of between you guys as a joke. But the controversy that really comes in here is that it was with another woman.
Yeah.
Well, he also could have meant it as just a complete joke. I mean, it's still inappropriate. I'm not saying it's not, but he could have just meant it as a joke.
to a girl that he was not engaged to, So it's kind of
that.
I mean, it's one thing if you're texting that to your girlfriend or to your wife, who might keep that to herself and be like, "Oh, well, he's just messing around. That's our little thing." That's one thing. But to mention that to a complete stranger, and I'm assuming these two weren't strangers for too long, that they must have been messaging back and forth for quite some time. If he's saying stuff like that right off the bat, I would hope so. I hope you don't just get somebody's Instagram and then the next day write that, because that's a real creep move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's a lot of factors to account for that we
There
really
is.
can't.
I'm just trying to think, because it's obviously he's more than likely going to get punished. There's no I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's not. I'm trying to think on what they should do. I mean, would you demote him? Would you fire him? I think firing might go way too far. But then again, with the way the world is today, I mean, you do something small like that, you get it. I mean, immediately there's no more second chances in today's world. I mean, a great example is the Oklahoma running back. He punched his girlfriend, and the university suspended him and gave him a second chance. Well, now that the videos come out, everyone was saying, well, he needs to be gone. They need to get rid of him.
Right.
But
I mean, this is a whole different thing on a different scale. I mean, he didn't hit anybody.
It's 100% a different scale. But the example I'm trying to get at is there's no second chances. Like the running back Ray Rice from the Baltimore Ravens, who assaulted his fiance at the time. That was very public, and there's not one single NFL team that will pick him up because they know the image that will come.
Mm.
His career is over. I mean, and then again, the things we're talking about is very controversial. Then you have the whole, I'm just going to drop it because it's just going to turn into a bunch of unneeded. So I could see Tom Phillips getting suspended for this 100%. I don't think that he deserves to get fired.
They're not really sexist or racist comments. So I mean, those are the two big ones. So I mean, to be fired is too extreme.
They're going to be looking at him as a pig, but all he's doing is having a sexual conversation with, even though it is him cheating with, in reality, it's his other half or the person that he is active with.
Or supposedly active with.
That has been around since God knows how long. I mean, in the 90s, it was sexting on the phone, and then today's world, it's over text. I mean, that's just how I look at it. I think firing him is too extreme.
I don't think they're gonna fire him. Like I would be surprised if that was the thing that would be handed out. I mean, if it's anything more than like a demotion or like a slap on the wrist, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, and it's also that, I mean, from the evidence that we have here, he didn't act on anything. He said it. Cheating is bad, or saying you're going to do it, yeah, it's bad, but firing would be way too far.
Honestly, if you take the demotion route, like, what do you do with him? Bring him back to like an announcer, like an interviewer, because he already doesn't really do too much on SmackDown other than promote live events or events that are occurring within that night.
If the
Maybe
W,
put him
doesn't
back
do
to
any
NXT
play-by-play.
for a bit.
well, he's
Leave him
still
on
in NXT.
But yeah, I'm saying, like, leave him on there for a bit, take him off SmackDown TV.
If WWE is afraid that he'll go off and the crowd's gonna rip him, because the crowd's gonna rip him a new asshole. There's no way around it. The smart crowd is gonna rip him a new asshole.
Mm-hmm.
If we're really gonna go along those lines, the backstage route is the best route for him. It really is. Backstage is the best route, the best position for him if they're gonna try to stay along the route of, okay, we don't want the crowd to rip him a new asshole, so let's do this,
Yeah, I guess what is it, to see what happens, but I don't know. It's such a controversial topic. It's
It
a
really
controversial
is,
situation,
especially
and it's
in
really up to
today's
the
world.
interpretation.
Especially
Yeah,
in today's society, it is a very controversial topic. And the thing is, things like this happened all the time, and it was never a big deal. And I mean, now it's literally gonna be huge.
well, it makes it 10 times worse that he's a well-known figure on TV. You know,
Yeah, he's a big time WWE announcer,
Mm-hmm. One of the best.
best ever.
But yeah, I mean, I can't
look,
see him
I'll be
fired. He'll probably just
completely
get
honest with you guys. Like, yeah, I might joke around about Tom Phillips, and like I might have laughed when she made that offhanded comment about him being like a premier commentator. But I mean, I typically enjoy listening to Tom Phillips when he was on NXT. I wouldn't mind him being a part of the play-by-play on SmackDown. I mean, I honestly prefer him over David Otunga, and it has nothing to do with anything else other than I just don't feel like David Otunga is a good fit for a commentary.
I just think a face. Sorry to interrupt. I just think a face colored commentator in general is just bad. I mean, like, it'd be different if it was like something along lines of what Daniel Bryan did.
Well-
with, he wasn't a face and he wasn't that like, oh no, how can he do that? Whoa, come on, Corey, that's not cool.
Well, the thing is that at least Booker T, when he was a commentator, he at least made it interesting to watch in terms of like the things he said were a little weird and out there, but it was entertaining. David Otunga, he's trying. He's gotten a lot better since he started. I can openly admit that, but it seems like he's doing a lot of repeating, and I think that has to do with the fact that he really has been thrown into a situation where he has to sort of either sink or swim, in a sense, because he's up there with pretty much one of the best commentators, in my opinion, Mario Ronaldo, and then you got JBL who's there, and he's been there for a long time, so it's a lot of pressure on the guy, but, it just really depends on what your style is and what you're interested in, and, like, for me, I just don't feel like the commentary booth is a good place for David Otunga. I liked him better as a wrestler than a commentator.
I personally don't think that if we're gonna, go along these lines, I personally don't think that a face colored commentator is necessary at all. I think if we're going to have a face color commentator, I mean, we don't need to have him supporting the good guys. He needs to be that, not a play-by-play, but he needs to be an expert and just say, oh, that move was it does this, this, and this to your arm and your back, and he could be in deep trouble because of he got hit, his legs hurt, and he needs to watch out for this. Like, he needs to do along that, like kind of what sports do, and then you could have a heel commentator go along that line, and then have the your play-by-play, kind of like what JR and King did back in the day. They'd go back and forth. I don't think I find it really dumb, and I'm gonna use Raw for example. I find it really dumb that you'll have what's his name, Corey Graves play heel, Byron Saxton play the super little kid good guy, and then you'll have Michael Cole kind of jump back and forth.
Right.
It does get annoying. And personally, I don't like any of the the face colored commentators on any of the shows. And this is, I'm just thinking about that. This is where I could get called racist for this one.
Oh no, you will. Don't worry about it. Yep, it'll happen. I don't think Percy Watson's too
Well,
bad.
in terms
Watson's
of like
is
what the
just
job is,
Sorry to interrupt. The thing about Percy Watson is he doesn't say a lot, and what he does say, it's like, really? Like, did you really just say that? It's like
He's just there to be entertaining.
He'll do a drop kick, and it's like, yeah, that was a really good drop kick right there. Yeah.
He's just there to be entertaining. That's all he's there for.
I don't know. If you really look at it, it really all just plays into the chemistry that the people have together. And like Jim Ross and the King had a perfect chemistry. I would even argue that Jim Ross and Paul Heyman had a good chemistry. It wasn't as well known as King and Jim Ross, but it takes like a really good heel and a really good face to really bring out that emotion in a match. Because the good thing about JR and King was JR was always that 100%, babyface commentator. He never went across that line. The King, however, he was 100% heel up until the point where they messed with JR. It was kind of like JR was his baby brother. Yes, they fight. Yes, he's going to dog on him all the time and tell him he's wrong. But as soon as you mess with his brother, that's when the situation is crossed. And that would be the only time you would ever see him jump sides on television. But that's what made it really special and why their chemistry works so well together.
There's zero excuses for Byron Saxton to not have as much chemistry as he should with Corey Graves and Michael Cole. He worked at NXT with Corey Graves the entire time. And he's worked a lot, if not longer, with Michael Cole. Like, he's put into a position to succeed. There's zero reason why we should be having. Well, it could be because he doesn't.
I think part of that's on Byron Saxton, and I feel like that's just his personality in general. I feel like his personality is very overbearing. He's so overbearingly nice.
He's like the baby face of commentators.
Well, not just the baby face of commentators. It's kind of like, if you guys have ever seen, and I just got done watching the show Parks and Recreation, the character that Rob Lowe plays, his name is Chris. He's always overbearingly positive, and it just gets to the point where it just gets annoying. You like the guy, but he's just annoying because he's overbearingly positive all the time. Even when he's upset and angry, he's overbearingly positive, smiling, and that's what Byron Saxton is. He's that over-positive guy, and it's like nothing really ever phases him.
No, see, for me, it has nothing to do with that. It's just like what he says is just like really like it's corny. It's just. Like, I don't even, like, I'm just, like, my brother was like, did he really just say that? My brother's 12.
He tries too hard, that's the problem. He tries way too hard.
I don't know, but, let's move on. Before we get into more WWE news, or before we get more into the show, are you subscribed yet? No? Well, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's right there, the red button. All you have to do is hit subscribe. We go live every single Monday and Tuesday with the Monday Night Raw review and the SmackDown Live review. And then, obviously, next Sunday, or depending on when you're watching this, March 5th will be Fastlane, the Raw exclusive pay-per-view. We'll be giving our predictions at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And then immediately following the pay-per-view, we'll be live with our thoughts, and we love getting involved with the chat in the comments section, and we usually talk about topics on that. Be sure to tune in then. Hit that notifications button also. That way, when we go live, you'll get a notification every single time we upload and every single time we go live. So let's continue this. Last Monday night, they were in the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. we saw, which is arguably one of the worst. A lot of people were calling it one of the worst Raw since July 4th of last year. And after Monday Night Raw, we saw The Rock come out. Well, The Rock was not there to do anything on Monday Night Raw. He's shooting a movie right now. The movie he's shooting is about Paige. And it's called Wrestling, or it's Wrestling with My Family, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But needless to say, they were recreating the moment when Paige won her first Divas Championship from AJ Lee. So, after Raw, he wanted the crowd to stay there, and the crowd was really booing. He actually told the crowd to stop. And needless to say, they were chanting CM Punk. So Rock says in the moment, he says, "I'm going to call CM Punk." He proceeds to call CM Punk, left voicemail. CM Punk was tweeted saying that he's walking his dog, and that was his dog's birthday, and he also thanked the Staples Center. So I actually went on last night and listened to JR's podcast. Great podcast. It's called The Ross Report. He did an interview with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is knowingly friends with CM Punk. Joe went on to say that Punk would like to come back to WWE, and that Punk wants one more hoorah with WWE. Now, continuing on with the story, The Rock called CM Punk. They were chanting CM Punk, but Vince was not happy with it. Someone chanted in the crowd that they were going to turn his mic off, and he said, "No, they better not turn this damn mic, this bitch off." But
Dude, you're The Rock. You could do whatever you want.
100%. But there is a rumor going out not a rumor, but there is a saying going out that the only reason he called CM Punk was because they were trying to recreate the moment when AJ Lee was cutting a promo. The crowd was chanting CM Punk, so they were trying to recreate that.
Huh.
So, after everything I've just said, what do you guys take on the whole CM Punk getting called? I mean, I'll be straight with, if you're a CM Punk fan, I wouldn't be sitting here saying, "Oh my God, it looks like he's gonna make a comeback," because it's not. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it would, especially with all the bad blood and stuff like that between him and WWE in general. I mean, I would love it to happen, obviously. It'd be amazing to see him come back, but it would be a hell of a long shot, and a lot of deals would have to be made, because I think Vince alone still has a lot of bad blood with him, because look at how Punk was when he was here. Look at all the toes he stepped on, all the people he pissed off when he was here, with everything he did, especially before he left. Well, not before that. Around the time where he was feuding with John Cena and Money in the Bank, that whole thing. Look at how that went. That was a lot of lines were crossed. And I don't know if they want to go down that road again, especially with how more of the PG era we've really sunk into.
You're right, but how much money did that sell?
Well, yeah, I know, but I don't think Vince can get past it, because I know he's all about money, and he would want more, obviously, with Punk, but I think that he can't put his ego aside. He would have to put his ego aside. He can't do that.
Let me ask this.
Go ahead.
And this is nothing against CM Punk. I miss CM Punk in the WWE. He was one of my favorite wrestlers when he was in there. He was among my top 5, believe it or not. But CM Punk coming back to WWE would create such a huge wake. And what I mean by that is that I feel like the roster is so packed right now, between NXT and the main roster. Where would CM Punk really fit into the place? Is there a place that you could really shuffle CM Punk in there? That would really be worth it.
He's needed on Raw. As much as you're saying that, yeah, you're absolutely right. But if he comes back, he needs the main event. The guy deserves. I think if he's to come back, they have to offer him the main event for WrestleMania.
Well, yeah. I mean, not only do you have to do that, but he needs to be a fixture on television because of the type of wrestler that he is and how he sells to the crowd. But that's my thing. If you're CM Punk, you don't sign on the dotted line unless you're that guy. You're that fixture, that you have those guarantees and not the false promises that he had backstage when he was actually with the company. Oh yeah, I'll owe you one. No, you need to have it so that you come back, you're a huge fixture, and you're main eventing the big show. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't come back if he wasn't, because he doesn't. It's not like he needs to. Not like he is begging them to. He can come back if he wants, or he doesn't have to. He doesn't. Like I said, he doesn't need to come back at all. It would be in WWE's best interest to get him back. CM Punk, he can do whatever he wants. He can go back to UFC. He can come back to WWE. He can go to Ring of Honor, New Japan, or he can just not wrestle anymore at all. He does not need to do this at all. So if WWE wants him back, they would have to really make him happy to do it. Because, like I said, he does not need to do this. He doesn't need to do it for the money, for his ego. He doesn't need to at all. He would want to do it for him, and because the crowd, he sees how much he still affects the crowd, and to give him one last hurrah, give him that main event spot at WrestleMania. All that. Does he still want it inside? Yeah, but again, WWE would have to jump through a lot of hoops, I think, to get him back. It would be a lot of like I said, a lot of egos that have to be put aside, especially Vince.
I think it's possible. I really do think it is possible for
I do
him
too.
to come back. I think it's not gonna. I think it's gonna be later than I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but I think it's possible. I just think that, if I'm not mistaken, he's still in a lawsuit, or he's still being sued by one of the former WWE doctors for what he said on the podcast. So, I don't know. I think that a lot would have to happen. I think he'd probably have to become a part-timer. I don't think he'd come back as a full-timer. But
I don't know.
And I don't blame him if that's the case. I really don't. But if he does come back, I would love to see him come back. But I don't, just because The Rock called him, I don't don't sit here and think that he is going to come back.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody needs to sit and wait on bated breath and hope he's gonna come back and keep thinking that, because like I said, he very well might not. And even if he does, it's not gonna be for a while. He won't be back next week. He will not be back for WrestleMania. If he came back, he'd be back, I would say, even early 2018 or really late 2017. And that'd be the earliest if he came back. He would not come back anytime soon. Yeah, exactly. That's the earliest he would come back. He was not going to come back anytime soon, especially because he might still be doing UFC. He might still try to do that still.
No, he can't.
His first fight, he can't.
Dana White's not going to re-sign him.
Well, I mean, I thought he did pretty well. I thought he didn't do horrible.
No, he did not do good at all.
Okay, no, but look for the little training he had though, I thought he did decent.
You're right,
because
he
was
UFC level for the 4 years that he was training.
No, I know
to
that.
do that, it'd be different if it was some small. He just got to start small, and he started at the heavyweights. And I mean, that guy that was a nobody just destroyed him. It wasn't even.
Well, yeah, because he's CM Punk. Because he's not gonna wait. He wasn't gonna go in the Indies. They're gonna have him in UFC just because of his name. Because he brought in money. Because it's CM Punk in the UFC.
Yeah, but
that's why they made that whole special.
His entire career was with the mixed martial arts. Just that.
Yeah.
Ruined it. But
I don't think he cares, to be honest. But yeah, you can go on. I don't think he really cares that much, personally. But yeah, let's move on.
Well, Finn Balor's been in the news. He actually showed up to the last TV tapings for NXT, saving Shinsuke from being attacked by Bobby Roode. He proceeded to get on the microphone after the TV tapings were done to say that he is medically cleared to wrestle and that he cannot wait to return. Rumors also later came out later that day, if not a day later, saying that Finn Balor is scheduled to make his return the Monday Night Raw after Fastlane. There's also a report from the Inquisitor saying that he is apparently going to be getting switched to SmackDown, which I don't see happening. I don't see why they would do that, but so that's why I'm not getting into it. But
well, I mean, I can see why they might do that, because they had the perfect setup with Rollins as a heel. Oh, you put me on the shelf, you're going to pay for it when he comes back. Now he's a face. Really can't put him in a feud with Seth Rollins right now.
I don't know. There's a lot that you could do. I think there's still a lot of possibilities. Me and him versus Joe at Mania would be awesome. But what do you guys think? Finn Balor returning, Fastlane, storylines. What do you guys think? I mean, look, I'll be straight with you. I think he deserves to be in the title picture right away. But it's obviously that's not going to happen because, I mean, we all know Kevin Owens is going to lose the title. There's no way.
When?
Fastlane.
What? Really? I disagree. I have different ideas for Fastlane.
All right, so you think Kevin Owens is going to beat Goldberg in 32 seconds?
No, I'm not saying that. I was gonna say no. What I think is gonna happen, and I'll tell you guys straight up, is I think Chris Jericho is gonna interfere and beat up Kevin Owens, and that's gonna disqualify him. So the match is gonna end because Goldberg is not gonna lose, and Kevin Owens, I think, is gonna keep the title at WrestleMania, and then that match that's gonna set up the Kevin Owens Chris Jericho WrestleMania thing. That'll set it up a lot better. I think that's what's gonna happen.
So
They should not do that.
Let me ask you something, Kyle.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. No title, no nothing involved.
Mm-hmm.
Are you interested?
I mean, just because it's a two guy. I mean, I'm not as interested, obviously, but I'm still interested because it's still Brock Lesnar and Goldberg going again. Especially the promo that they're going to continue, especially the promo that Lesnar cut, and they're going to continue to cut promos like that. I'm sure that they're going to get into fights throughout the weeks. It'll still be an interesting match, alone because it's Brock Lesnar and Goldberg.
Okay.
Not as interesting without the title, but still interesting.
So, and you know just as well as I do, Vince is all over and all behind those two. You know,
Yeah.
we all know that they're going to main event WrestleMania, especially if they're going up for a title. Those two are going to main event WrestleMania. So, what will sell more tickets and what will sell more pay-per-views? The title would. 100% the title would.
Mm-hmm.
So, I could see Chris Jericho getting involved, but I don't think it would disqualify him. I don't. Because if you if we play that angle, Chris Jericho gets Goldberg disqualified, because technically it'd be Goldberg getting disqualified.
Yeah, that's the point. And Kevin Owens will still retain his title. That's my point.
Yes. That would make it where Goldberg and Chris Jericho are set for a storyline. It would make zero sense to have a storyline with Brock when Chris Jericho ran in and disqualified him.
I mean, I don't know if it would really set up like a real feud. I think it would be more along the lines of like Chris Jericho getting speared or something like that by Goldberg and moving on or some shit. Or Goldberg, they did it before where there's shit like that has happened and they just kind of like moved on from it and not acknowledged it at all. So it's definitely quite possible, but I do understand what you're saying. It would make more sense to give the title to Goldberg, but the only thing with it is that I just think and the thing with it is that yes, Vince is riding this Goldberg Lesnar thing very hard, but also Triple H is riding the idea of Kevin Owens keeping the title, and I just think it would be more interesting to keep him with the title and keep that like another main event like that. Have more main events to it, kind of. You would have a 3 main events instead of like 2, where you'd have Goldberg and Lesnar for the title at Mania, and then the SmackDown thing. But instead, you have the Universal Championship, Kevin Owens in a match. You'd have Goldberg and Lesnar, and then you have the SmackDown main event.
Just keep in mind that all of this is setting up to Roman Reigns taking back the title in the next 2 to 3 months.
You know just as well as I do that Roman Reigns is under that table. In the long run, Roman Reigns is going to be around that.
He's going to end up beating like Goldberg or Lesnar for the title. He's going to beat him in like 30 seconds.
If anybody off the main roster or the roster that's not one of those two is to do it, it'd be him.
It's going to be Reigns.
No, yeah, of course. That'll set up like the pay-per-view after or something like that. Roman Reigns against like Goldberg or Lesnar, which is quite possible. Like I said, Fastlane, one of two things going to happen. Either Goldberg is going to destroy Kevin Owens, which I think that's quite easily going to happen. I don't think the match is going to last long. Or I still think that Chris Jericho interfering and disqualifying, like stopping the match kind of thing, disqualifying Goldberg is still a strong possibility because they made it look like where Chris Jericho got beat down by Kevin Owens and that Chris is going to come back and get his revenge, and that's going to start and then set it up for Mania.
Keep that in mind. If that does happen, right, Kevin Owens retains the championship, and now you got the United States champion and the Universal Champion going at it at WrestleMania. And obviously Chris Jericho is going to lose that match. So odds are they're probably going to run something where it's a title versus title, if that's the scenario that we choose. And I doubt that's what they want to do.
That's very true. I did kind of forget.
But yeah, wouldn't you want that title on the line at WrestleMania?
Absolutely. Both titles on the line at WrestleMania. Whether or not it's Chris Jericho defending it or not.
I mean, I think when it comes to those two, I think it's going to be Lesnar and Goldberg for the title. I mean, in reality, as much as I don't want to see the title become a part-timer title, the title needs the help. Because that title needs a lot of help. Yeah, you know, Kevin Owens in the recent weeks has been outstanding.
Mhm.
But when it comes to, to everything else, it's sort of like, I mean, that title has been nothing. You think about that. You think about those title matches, and it's very forgettable. But then you turn around, you look at the WWE Championship, and just about every single title match you can remember, other than SummerSlams.
I mean, my thing with the title going around Goldberg's ways is that a lot of people would say it makes it more interesting. I don't think it makes the match more interesting, personally. It's still because it's still happening. It's still like the title's not going to make the match happen any faster or anymore, or really make it that much better. It's still going to be Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. The title, I think, is going to be like an afterthought of whoever gets the title. That's my opinion.
We also can't.
Because it's still a match.
Speaking of Goldberg, we cannot forget about this. That Asuka is catching on to Goldberg's streak.
Yes, she's
Is
like
she
at 100.
really?
Mm-hmm.
She's like at 149. I think I still have the.
No
official
way. Are you
number.
kidding me?
No, hold on. I actually did. Yes. So Goldberg's victory, his wins in a row before he lost to Kevin Nash, as 173 wins without a loss. And Asuka is at 149 wins without being
Oh my
pinned.
god. I did not
Oh.
even think about that. That's crazy. Wow. It's very
So
interesting.
yeah.
That's
So
that's
Asuka's
really
getting up
interesting.
there. Now,
That's cool.
honestly, I don't think that she's going to go past that 149. I think that what they're setting it up to be is Ember Moon and her for the title.
Mhm.
And I think Ember Moon's going to finally do it. I mean, both of them are
She's
undefeated
perfect.
at this point.
She's a perfect one to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then again,
I messed
how many
up.
times have I reported that Asuka's going to lose?
I
And
messed,
I've been wrong.
I messed up hardcore and looked at
You did.
looked at the card for Orlando. Dude, the
Oh,
card
yeah,
for
I saw it
Orlando
too.
looks. Whoo!
Well, yeah,
Takeover?
let's why don't we talk
it
about
looks dirty.
Takeover?
Holy
Why don't we talk about
cow.
Takeover?
I
What are
don't-
you talking? What? What's
I
up
don't
with
know
it?
the,
dude?
I don't know the card from top to bottom.
I have a list of the card right here.
All right.
I actually have it just in case.
What's the spoiled card as of right now?
So the card as of right now that they're predicting is Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship.
That's a given.
That's a given. NXT Women's Championship, Asuka versus Ember Moon.
That's going to be good.
hmm Authors of Pain versus DIY and the Revival
That's going to be amazing.
in a triple
Oh
threat
my
tag team match,
god.
That's gonna
which
be
is going to
amazing.
be godlike.
Yes.
A 6-man mixed tag team match, which I thought was interesting, which means I think we're getting a new person. Ty Dillinger, No Way Jose, Roderick Strong, and this girl named Ruby Riot. Real name is Heidi Loveless versus Sanity. I don't know if that's ringing any bell.
That's interesting.
We got that, and then also one thing that is also being predicted is that Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate for the UK Championship could also possibly be a match at Takeover.
Like, just think about that. That card right there. Woo!
Yeah, that sounds
WrestleMania is going to have a hard time beating that. I can tell you right now.
But they can.
There's
do it.
not a match on that card that looks bad.
No, but WrestleMania could do it.
cool. Oh,
Pete
usually.
Dunne versus Tyler Bate was amazing in the final round of the UK tournament.
Gosh, anything Pete Dunne was involved with was amazing.
Oh yeah, Pete Dunne's amazing.
He's a great.
He's a great heel. Yeah, 100% one of the best heels
But
that I've
but
seen.
yeah, but let's get back on topic here. Finn Balor, excited for him to return? Yes, no, or should they wait till after WrestleMania? That's what I was going to get at. We totally went off topic, which is fine.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm excited for him to return. I'm just trying to figure where they're going to put him in at, especially if they have the idea of maybe switching him over to SmackDown. I don't know what they would. He needs to go, like you said, Blake. He needs to be back in the title picture. He deserves that. He deserves to beat Kim against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the title he never lost. That's what it deserves to be. Will it be that at this point?
No.
It doesn't. It's not going to be in the cards. That's the problem. He deserves that match.
You
That's
had
what
all
it
this
should
build
be.
up with Jericho.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. And then Goldberg taking the title, which is a possibility. So like he has no way to do it. He's losing that opportunity that it should be. That should be the match.
I just want
It
to
should
let
be the
you
main
guys
event.
know that Kevin Owens is amazing on Twitter. So Goldberg tweeted at him like a few days ago, if not longer. He said, "Sorry, bud, just saw this. But yeah, you can. Goldberg was basically here. I'll read the exact tweet to give me a second. I'm sorry, but I agree. I think Finn Balor does deserve to be in the main title picture.
Yeah.
I do think that, but
At this point in time where he's been out for so long, you had to make do with what you had. And right now, putting Finn Balor in any of those matches would be a detriment more than a
oh my God, he's amazing. So Goldberg said approximately 9 days, 5 hours, 4 minutes till at Fight Owens Fight, which is Kevin Owens' Twitter, loses his Universal title. Hashtag WWE Fastlane. Hashtag Owens is next. So Kevin, he tweeted that. When was it? I don't know how long ago he tweeted, but yesterday, Kevin Owens tweeted at him, said, "Good luck with that, man. Sorry, I only just saw this now, but I was busy wrestling at live events in Germany like true WWE superstars do," with a smiley face.
Oh wow.
So then Goldberg tweeted at him, said, "Been there and done that, champ. Retweet. Good luck with that, man. Sorry, I only just saw this now. Sorry if you hear my dog reading." And then Kevin Owens tweeted back, says, "Career mode in 2K17 doesn't count, Bill."
Oh my God, Kevin Owens he's such a savage. That's
So,
great.
Amazing stuff. So let's move on to our final story of the night. And that is that Shinsuke Nakamura is rumored to make his WWE main roster debut next week on SmackDown, and he is to interfere with the AJ Styles and Luke Harper match and cost AJ Styles his main event at WrestleMania to start the feud between him and AJ Styles at WrestleMania, which Triple H has been on note saying that his WrestleMania weekend is going to be very booked and very busy, and it also is going to be, Shinsuke has been on Twitter saying that he wants to wrestle AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and AJ Styles said no. I'll be doing main event stuff while you're doing this. So, what are y'all's thoughts? Is it too soon or is this awesome? I personally think it's awesome. I didn't get to experience Wrestle Kingdom. I could always go back and watch.
Blake.
I could always go back and watch, but I haven't.
Oh man.
Well, you
tore
want to know
house
the
down.
truth? You want to know the truth? Honestly, we have been asking ourselves for weeks now, for like what, 2-3 weeks since Seth Rollins got hurt. What are they going to do with Seth Rollins versus Triple H? And I've said several times that if he's not 100% ready, don't play him. And honestly, if you don't play him because of any reason like that, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles is a perfect placeholder for that match that we just lost. Honestly, if you want to make up for a match that we just lost, that's the match to do it.
In all honesty, there's like 5 main event caliber matches that are, if including us saying that this is going to happen, there's like 5 main event matches that could happen.
Mhm.
It's unreal.
And AJ and Nakamura will tear the house down. Like if you watch that match, you will love it. Oh my God, it was an amazing match.
AJ Nakamura, Triple H and Seth Rollins, if that goes through 100%. Assuming that Finn Balor and Samoa Joe feud, the Universal title, and the WWE title. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, not to imagine what SmackDown has going on. I honestly think the Orton, Wyatt, and I guess Harper triple threat match will be interesting too.
You know what? I think it could tear the house down because of the story that they're telling.
Well, I liked it better from the Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton perspective. I'm not a big fan of Luke Harper. Still not a big fan of Luke Harper. So
honestly, I'm kind of getting.
I don't know.
Him. In reality, he really is getting. It really is getting easier to sit down and get behind him. It really is. Because
I like him. I'm starting to like him too. I don't like his image. I think his image needs to change a little bit, maybe just like slightly at least. Because he still has that Wyatt image. He needs to kind of like stray away from that and kind of like get his own kind of look.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't see that happening, to be honest. honest with you.
No, I don't either, but I just think it would make a little bit more sense. I know it's his guy, that's his character right now, but I just think that's more of like the Wyatt family character. He needs to kind of evolve into his own.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I mean, I think it'd be cool. When it comes to this, there's not a lot that we could touch on. So I do think that I think tonight we did a really good show here. I think it was a really good show. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, it's free.
Please do. Please
Also
do.
hit the notification button to know when we upload and go live, and we go live every single Monday and Tuesday with a Monday Night Raw review and SmackDown Live review. And also March 5th, we'll be live with our prediction show at 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Eastern with the prediction show for Fastlane, and then obviously immediately following Fastlane, we'll be live with basically the results and our thoughts on the show. I think that's going to do it for us. I think, again, really good show. Had a lot of fun. So for Kyle, and for Andrew, until next time, peace out.